Right, you're right, guys. Welcome to my second instalment of the podcast series on the channel. Today I've got my dad on the podcast. He's been a Liverpool supporter all of his life, similar to like all of us as well, So yeah, I just want to get some of his views on it. He's not someone like me that looks up everything every day and knows everything about it, but he's been a Liverpool supporter and he does obviously watch games and that. So I wanted to get his views on it. His views are probably more raw than what some of mine are, if you know what I mean. So it'd be good to see what he has to say and stuff. But anyway, introduce yourself, Dad. What's your name and how long
Hi
you been a
guys.
Liverpool
Hi
supporter?
guys, I'm Nicky. Dale's dad, of course.
Yeah. So do you remember what the first game was that you watched of Liverpool? Or was it too long ago?
Oh my God, we're going back to the old days when Coventry would have been in the first division.
Really?
Yeah, and
God.
people like that.
That's madness, isn't it? God. But
Yeah,
obviously, you've seen some of the best teams that we've had in that play for Liverpool, haven't you? So it's good to get your opinion on some of the matters and how we play at the moment. Obviously, it's at the moment we're kind of in limbo, aren't we? Because we're with Jurgen Klopp. So, but yeah, you're right, T, mate. Obviously, you know the score, T, don't you? We don't really talk with the chat and that, but my dad's on it for anyone that's joining now. It's my dad that's on the podcast today. So I'll start with the first question, Dad. What are you making of this poor run of form that we've been in lately? Obviously, we got the win against Leicester on the weekend, but what are your views on how we've been playing recently?
I think they're playing all right. We've still got a bit of a weakness in defence. I think
Yeah,
we're letting in too many. That's our problem.
yeah,
You know, the scoring's come along. We're starting to score more goals again.
yeah,
Starting to improve. Got the speed that
yeah.
we need. I think we just need a stronger defence.
Yeah. Do you think that's a lot of the things that we've been talking about on this channel so far is that it's the centre back that we need a couple of centre backs in. Like Matip's good, but Lovren and Clavan are absolute fucking useless. So do you think it's just that, or would you change the wing backs, the goalkeeper? Like, is it all round for you, or just who's the main people that you think we need to change?
I think we need to sort centre defenders out.
Yeah,
You know, we've had some brilliant ones in the past
yeah,
and we could defend, but then we couldn't score. We've now brought in that we've got a team that can score the goals, but we've got nothing in the centre there. I don't know whether we should drop back to 4-4-2 or maybe even five in the middle
yeah,
and dropping back and going forward. I
yeah,
don't know. It's hard to say at the moment, but I think Klopp's doing a good job.
yeah,
I just think we're just missing maybe one or two players
yeah.
to make the team complete.
Definitely, it's something that everyone keeps talking about at the moment. Is a lot of people. We'll get to the question in a minute anyway about your views on people saying about Klopp out and stuff. But personally, like, do you think it's maybe Klopp needs to change his tactics to slightly more defensive, or do you think it's as simple as getting in like your Virgil van Dijk or another centre back? Do you reckon that getting in another centre back will be the be all and all and end all of our problems, or do you think Klopp needs to change tactically as well slightly to make it a bit easier on the centre backs?
No, I think the guy knows what he's doing. I just think the weakness is the players at the back.
Yeah,
I think if he keeps going the way he is, and we maybe it's going to have to be like in the next transfer window now.
yeah,
But you know, unless we've got some younger ones that he can pull out that can do the job,
yeah,
uh, I think the managing skills that they got and the coaches, they do a brilliant job with them and they're doing it right. It's just we're just letting too much pass at the moment,
yeah.
getting too much ahead all the time.
Yeah, I feel like our centre backs are quite exposed in the games because of the left and the right back. They push right up the pitch, don't they, a lot? So it adds
Yeah.
to the attack. But would you maybe say that the left and right back should sit back a bit more, like, and just allow the players up top to do their thing, or are
Well,
you
this is
happy?
why I'd like to see five in the middle because you can drop one back having four, or or that one goes up and the other one stays back a bit. You know,
Yeah,
it's just the different way of doing it to make sure that you've always got at least three or four at the back to defend. I think all the time it's good that we do push up, but I think the middle we haven't got the speed to get back. I think we're letting too much go, uh, letting them get away with too much. You've only got to look at Leicester the other week.
yeah,
how they walked all over us.
Yeah.
They put us to shame.
Yeah, Leicester's one of them teams that they've got pace, haven't they, up top? And something that
Yeah.
I've said a few times on the channel is, if we get a new centre back in, I want to see one that's got a lot of pace,
Yeah.
because
And big and strong with it.
Yeah.
I think you need someone that can get up there in the air.
Yeah.
You know, and someone that can hold up players.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you make of all this? Because obviously, like I said earlier on the podcast, like, you're not someone that sits there looking in depth about everything online and stuff, but
No.
there's been a lot of people that have been saying that Jurgen Klopp won't win anything at Liverpool. Like, we should get rid of him now because he's too attacking. He doesn't have a plan B. Like, do you think they're talking out their arse, or do you agree with some of what it is? Like, so yeah,
Definitely. He
right,
definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I've got money on Liverpool to win this season.
yeah,
You know, so I've still got faith within him.
yeah,
I think he might have to change a couple of things, but that's where he's intelligent.
yeah,
He can play half a game, and by half time, he'll go into the changing room, speak to the boys, and the difference that they can play
yeah,
when they come back out. He's a very clever manager.
yeah.
I do not think that he's the problem within the team.
No, I feel like it's the lads that are playing on the pitch that are letting him down. I mean, you was a manager of football teams before, wasn't you? And
Yeah.
it don't matter how many times you tell the lads how to play, if they're not doing what you're asking them to do or what you're working on in training, then how can you be to blame for that? You know what I mean? There's only so much you can do as a manager, isn't there, and a coach? So,
Yeah.
But
And like you say, he can't do a lot from the sidelines throughout the game. If they start to get their heads go down again, I think we had this discussion the other week about maybe a better captain.
yeah,
Because you need someone like Steven Gerrard used to be
yeah,
that would help pick the team up. I don't see that with our captain at the moment. You know,
Yeah.
you need a man on the pitch that's also going to give a bit of encouragement and like get the boys going.
yeah,
Jurgen Klopp can only do so much from the sidelines,
yeah,
and you know he's not on the other side of the pitch, so he can't always communicate with players on the other side of the pitch as well.
yeah.
You know, so I think you need a good captain that follows the lead of the manager and
Yeah.
makes sure that everything's played properly the way it's expected to be.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something that I've been saying a lot to the lads on the streams that I've done, and that is that Henderson's a good player, and against Leicester in the last match that we had, he played really well again. But
Yeah.
we was sport for choice when we had Steven Gerrard as our captain for so long, because I don't think you're ever going to get another player like Gerrard. He just literally knew how to drive the team on. And if you look back at Istanbul, the way he affected that game to get us back to win it, you're not going to get games like that all the time. But what I mean is, apparently, Rafa Benitez didn't even have to really say anything in the change rooms at half time. It was Gerrard that did that. You see, Klopp's got the passion, and you can see it on the sideline, but you need that to be on the pitch as well, don't you? And I feel like we are lacking that. Like, even in the defence, we used to have Jamie Carragher, Sammy Hoopier, that used to shout at people if they did wrong.
Yeah.
Goalkeepers that shouted.
That's what we're missing.
Yeah.
We've got, we built quite a bit of a new team there, which, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
They're playing good football, but playing good football and learning where each other's going to be and what they're going to do, that takes time. So you've got to remember, it might take a year, it might take a couple of years to start getting where you've got a team that literally know what each other will do.
Yeah.
It's all right at the moment with players that literally are all new and they're playing together the way he says, but to be able to read a player and know exactly where he's going to be and what he's going to be doing are two different things.
Yeah, well, it's like Chamberlain and that. Like, I'll speak about Chamberlain a bit now, like the Ox that we've just signed from Arsenal. Obviously, a lot of people are like slating him already. He's had like a few little cameo performances for us. Like, it's going to take time, isn't it? What's your views, Em? Do you think he's a good signing for us in the future, or do you think it was a waste of money?
Again, it's just that confidence thing, isn't it? It's where they get comfortable with the team. The fans should be getting behind them, not criticising them.
Yeah.
And this is the trouble with football. A true fan won't criticise what we got. Yes, we get frustrated. Yes, we get depressed over it.
Yeah.
But if you're a loyal supporter, you support your team. And it doesn't matter who the players are. You need to be behind them to encourage them and make them feel welcome and like you get a better game out of players like that.
Yeah.
Criticising them every time they go on the pitch, they're under pressure then because they've read certain things in newspapers or whatever.
Yeah, no, I do agree. Like with Chamberlain, how people are jumping on his back and that. Like everyone's saying, oh yeah, he was a waste of money. We should have got in centre backs first and things. Which I do agree that we should have sorted out the centre back area because it's our weakest point at the moment, in my opinion. But I think Chamberlain will come good at us, and I think people have got to give him time. Like when you were saying about criticising people and that, I for one am always saying that Lovren should fuck off. I can't stand him. Like I feel that every time he makes a mistake, it costs us a goal and it's dropping us points. But what do you think of Lovren at the moment? Would you keep trying to give him a run because he's had quite a bit of a chance at Liverpool so far, and he
There's
hasn't
a
really
few
done it.
players in there I'd like to see gone.
Really?
But the thing is, you've got to go with what you've got. So
Yeah.
all you can do is hope that the coaches and the management team that deal with them helps create a better performance out of them.
Yeah.
Because it is all down to training, all down to practice. You know, you can be the weakest player, but as long as you kind of it's hard to say, you know, in training with certain things that we used to do because of me doing my coaching training and everything else.
Yeah.
You know, your weakest player isn't about the team, is it? You know, you need that player to hold back. If he's weak in certain points, you keep him back over certain points.
Yeah.
You don't let them go too far up the pitch, or you don't encourage them to hold the ball for too long and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, you have to play them to the best that you can get out of them until you improve on certain strengths that they need.
Yeah.
So with people like Lovren and that, they should all come good. You know, it's all down to what he wants and what the coaching boys are doing with them.
So that's an interesting point that you brought up there because so basically what you're saying is because obviously Klopp has got Lovren and that at the moment, then it's down to Klopp now to find a way of making the system work so that they're not costing us points and goals, basically.
That's exactly right. You know, that's how I'd be looking at it as a manager and a coach.
Yeah.
Of any team.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to work with what you've got. So basically, if he's weak in certain points, don't use them points. You know, you have to change things around that.
Yeah.
To get the stronger bits out of them.
Yeah.
Because obviously they can play football.
Yeah. Well, Lovren was really good before he came to Liverpool. He was a good defender, but something that I've said is it's not that I think Lovren's a shit defender. I just basically think that he's not suiting the high line that Liverpool play defensively under Klopp. We push all of our defence right up, and I feel that that doesn't suit Lovren's game, if you know what I mean, and that's where it's costing us. But
yeah, and like you say, at the moment, you've got a weakness in defence all across. You know, if you've got one or two weaknesses in there,
yeah.
You need other players back as well. You shouldn't be playing too far up the pitch.
Right.
You should be making sure that you've got two or three
to cover
to do the job further back.
Yeah.
You know, because of that weakness. And
yeah.
if he's not strong enough to get back or not strong enough to push a player off a ball, then someone else should be doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it. This is why I wanted you on the podcast and that because obviously I'm well aware, but the lads aren't of your coaching experience and stuff, and I wanted to get your views on it. Obviously, it's interesting that you say that the people saying about Klopp out are fucking idiots, like because it's not down to him. But then with your views on that, maybe it is that Klopp should be trying to tweak things so that if Lovren and that are a weakness, then the way Liverpool play should try and accommodate that until we can get in a new centre-back, basically, that isn't weak no more. Right, okay,
yeah. You just change it slightly and it will work.
Yeah.
It's like I say, you know, three at the back and always sensible, is it?
No.
And, you know, a couple in the middle just hanging back ain't going to do it. You need to be able to pull four players back there.
Yeah.
And you do need a strong centre field,
yeah.
which at the moment I don't think we've got that at the back.
No. But it's something, if you look at like Jose Mourinho and that at Man U now, like, I hate him because he always seems to get his own way and he the way he plays against Liverpool, he knows how to get points off us. But I think that's something that people have been saying, that your Jose Mourinho's and things, they know how to defend. If they haven't got a really good team or whatever, then they sit defensively to make sure that they don't concede goals. And a team that's got a solid base and don't concede goals are a team that could go on to win leagues. And Liverpool obviously haven't won the Premier League, have they, yet? So
No.
it's one of them things that really Liverpool need to try and figure out a balancing thing. What do we like until we get in good centre backs that can play Klopp's way? Then we need to accommodate for the weaknesses in the squad, is what you're saying, isn't it?
That's why I think at the moment we should maybe drop back to 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Because we got the boys that can do the work at the front,
Yeah.
and they can get up there quick.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that we'd be a lot stronger if we did go back that way at the moment.
Yeah. No, this was very interesting. So, going to the next question, what's your views on Coutinho now being back? Obviously, he was linked with Barcelona and there was all that shit coming out. They wanted to go, but again, against Leicester, man of the match performance, gets a goal, assist. Like, what do you think on Coutinho? What's your views on the whole situation with him, basically?
I'm happy to keep him. He's one of my favourite players that Liverpool ever bought.
Yeah.
With me, though, when the money was involved and he wanted to go, I would have quite happily seen him go, because we were playing good football, as you saw, without him at the time.
Yeah.
We could have took the money and bought a decent centre-back.
Yeah.
As well as all the other players that we bought.
Yeah.
Because that was a great amount of money. Would have done the team well.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people have touched on, actually, like on the streams and stuff. Like, people were saying if Coutinho was to go for that amount of money, then we could have finally got the centre backs in or whatever. But it's obviously everyone don't know whether it's down to the money situation or whatever. But yeah, like you say, I'm happy to have Coutinho back. And like you were saying earlier about we need to get behind our players and stuff, like Coutinho's one of them.
He's still one of the best players Liverpool's got.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I fully agree with that. I think you could see his class against Leicester, and I don't even think he's back to his full best for us yet. Yet he was instrumental in the game that we won. So, yeah.
And the trouble is, it's getting the fans back behind him now to make him feel that he is still part of the team and people are still cheering for him.
Yeah.
That would be the pickup that the guy needs, you know, because his football is amazing.
Yeah.
When you watch him play, I've said it from the day we bought him.
Yeah.
The day we bought him, he was one of the best players Liverpool had.
Yeah.
For that first couple of years, he's been fantastic. You know, and now all we've got to do is step back a bit, let these players get together, bond together, and we'll see a good team.
Yeah. No, it's something that was really interesting, actually, because I know you don't obviously read a lot of the rumours and stuff like that, but I saw an interview where Steven Gerrard spoke recently, and he stated that Coutinho in training, when Gerrard used to be in training with him, Gerrard used to tell him, don't come near me in training, because he said he's that good of a player. He makes you look like an idiot. And he said, like, he didn't want to go anywhere near him. So for someone of Steven Gerrard's ilk, that is probably one of the best midfielders to ever have lived, like, for him to say that about Coutinho, then that's surely a massive, like, boost for Coutinho as well. Like, it just shows that we do need Coutinho, if you know what I mean. Like,
we could do well with him, because he's one of them sort of players. When you look at your Steven Gerrard, Steven Gerrard was fantastic at scoring from 30, 40 yards out and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Coutinho is an amazing playmaker.
Yeah.
And he's so quick and skillful
that
he does put players to shame when he takes them on.
Yeah.
He can take on half the team. But his other skill is he can push that ball to where players just need to read what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's very fast at thinking and finding where to put a ball through for someone.
Yeah.
So the playmaking side of him could do really well with this team at the moment. So I think, you know, we've just got to lay off, forget about what happened this window, and like just move on. And hopefully the best will come out of him yet, because he's still young, still got a lot of time before all of his experiences there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I literally, looking at Coutinho, I think touching on something that you just said there is that the players need to be on his same wavelength, and something that a lot of people have criticised Coutinho for, saying it was ridiculous money for him and that, and his stats wasn't up there with some of the other players that go for that sort of money, if you know what I mean. But his stats for like assists and goals now would be higher if the other players around him was on the same wavelength, surely.
Yeah, I'd
Like,
agree.
yeah, like, well, this is the thing, wasn't it? I think because he was obviously linked with Barcelona, a lot of people were saying if he went to Barcelona, he would get a lot more assists because he's got Lionel Messi and Suarez that obviously they're world class players that would be able to read his passes and stuff a lot better than what some of Liverpool players since Coutinho's been at us are able to do. And I think having Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane and Firmino as the front three with Coutinho behind them now, I think he's got three players ahead of him that should
That's
be
what I
able
mean.
to score.
The the team now that we've built up front and midfield are really strong now.
Yeah,
You know, we're going to be able to create so much as the season goes on. You've got to remember, it's still beginning of the season. We've had about 6 games, and it usually happens. We win a few, then we lose about 10 or 11,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden we start scoring and winning again.
yeah. We
But
kind of have a dip,
it's
don't
always
we?
too late.
Yeah,
We've just got to give them a few bad games, allow them to have them,
yeah,
but then you'll see the teams bonding, and as you start seeing how other teams are performing, you'll find their weaknesses. You got to remember, it's like just got into the new window, and other teams are building and changing their play to suit other players, so we're having to adjust to that.
yeah.
But as the season goes on, you've got to remember we'll be more prepared for what other teams are doing, so we stand better chance.
Yeah, we'd be more settled, wouldn't we? Second half of the season,
Yeah,
sorry, second half of the season, our players will know how each other should play a bit better because it's something that Klopp said before that in pre-season friendlies and that he likes to get his transfers done early so that he gets a full pre-season with them. Well, Liverpool didn't really get too many players in first thing in
early.
it, so yeah,
No.
so they're still learning. Even Salah's been fantastic for us so far, but if you actually look at how much time he's had with the squad, it's not that much. So we should see a lot better from Salah even in the second half of the season, shouldn't we? So
Yeah, they're only going to get stronger unless we end up with injuries. That's the only other thing we have to worry about is injuries. Injuries can like push a team back to nowhere.
yeah,
You know, you got to remember other teams are going to also have the same problems. They're going to get injuries. So as long as we can keep the boys fit, looked after, and carry on, maybe they are easing back a little bit because of injuries and early on in the season. We just need a couple of lucky breaks, get a few good games in early part of the year, and
yeah,
then later in the year just step up and take it all.
yeah.
That's what I'd be aiming for.
Yeah, see, so what would you like to see from Liverpool this year? Do you think? Uh, Obviously, we want to see Liverpool win the league and win the Champions League and that. But obviously, being in the Champions League, what do you think would be a good season for Liverpool this year? Like finishing in top four again, or do you want to see us fight
I'd like
more
to
for the
see
league?
us at least in the top 2
Right,
to show that we are the great
progressing.
team that we have been in the past.
Yeah,
This is what you don't get to see anymore. We've had some amazing seasons and some amazing players come and go, but the Premier has never been lucky for us.
yeah,
It's about time we did take the Premier. If Leicester can do it, then anybody can do it.
yeah,
And basically with the history that Liverpool have got, the fans that they've got, we should take that.
yeah,
It just means putting in the extra effort, which this is the players, not the management. We've had money given to us. We've bought some amazing players. Like I said, we lack a couple of players.
yeah.
So I'd like to see by the next window us literally think about buying a couple of defenders, and I think the rest of it would just come together.
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. I feel that Liverpool are so close to clicking finally. Like obviously Klopp's been in for a couple of seasons now, and he's started sorting his team out. The centre back looks like it's probably the last position that he's going to work on to get that finally sorted. I mean, look at him at Dortmund, the success that he actually did bring to Dortmund on a really low budget. He's got a higher budget at Liverpool, so I think everyone like panicking and stuff early on in the season. It's too early, isn't it? Like really, like I think we're in a better position this season than what we was last year. And yet people are saying, and we still finished top four last year. Yet people are worried that we're not going to do anything this year. I think that's ridiculous.
Top four isn't good enough for us. We deserve, with the players that we've got in there now.
Yep.
We should be looking at least top two. But I would like to win the Premiership for the team, because it's something that we've never had. But we deserve it. We do deserve it. We've worked hard over the years, and we've had some amazing players that deserve to have that title.
Yeah.
And so do the fans. The fans need this to give us that extra boost. I brought you up from the days that Man United was league winners.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to you, you'll never get to watch a Man United game in our house.
Yeah.
Because I was always a Liverpool supporter.
Yeah, I told them that.
It didn't matter about the glory of the team.
Yeah.
Just because Man U was the best. That wasn't about me. I'd rather support a team and follow a team that you want to appreciate and follow and back. And we've got the best fans, mate, ever.
Yeah.
You've only got to look all over the world, and Liverpool literally have got amazing fans.
Yeah. Well, even since I've only been doing this channel for a couple of months now, and even the lads that we've got on here and the support and that, and it's like one big family is the fan it is. I mean, like we talk about Liverpool mainly, but we talk about everything. I mean, like mental health gets brought up, and we talk about that. Talk about relationship issues. It's just literally you feel like because of the bond of supporting Liverpool Football Club, it's like everyone's kind of on the same wavelength in life, and it's just mad because I think you look at Man United and fans like that, like I wouldn't ever imagine them being like that, if you know what I mean. I feel like they're just glory hunters, like what you said, like because they were used to winning loads and that. And Man City, they're plastic fans, like they can't even fill a stadium for a home game. Like whereas Liverpool, we can do a pre-season friendly game halfway around the bloody world and pack a stadium out. Yeah. Like it's mad. I have said to the lads like about how you brought me up and everything, and about the family being Liverpool, and yeah, like it's madness. Like I think a lot of the lads are exactly the same. And on the channel we've got men of all different ages, from like really young to like some that are in their 60s, 70s that have been supporting Liverpool for a very, very long time and that. And I just literally love getting everyone's views and that, and it's why I wanted to get your views on some things, because you've seen some of the glory days that I haven't experienced.
A lot of the best times.
Yeah.
I go back to days. Well, I do go back to Kenny Dalglish and all that when they all played. Ian Wright, not Ian Wright.
Ian Rush.
Yeah. And all that. And they were amazing days to watch them back then. And then as you come through, you had your Fowlers and that did amazing for us.
Yeah.
And then you jump again, and we've been through where we had the strikers that went, what's his name, went to Chelsea. God,
Fernando Torres.
I'm on the phone here trying to think at the same time.
Fernando Torres.
Yeah. And people like that. We've seen some amazing players come up. But again, we just haven't had the days that we had with like Kenny Dalglish and before that.
Yeah.
The team comes from nowhere. When you think the way that they divided right at the beginning and walked away, Everton walked away and stuff like that, and started up their own team, and the fans stayed behind Liverpool, and it's continued from there on. And I'm the same. I follow I enjoy the history and, the way we go along, the way the fans appreciate the players and follow them. It's not glory hunting for me, because if I wanted to glory hunt, I would have walked away years ago.
Yeah.
Leaving Liverpool, because we have had some bad seasons over probably the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That should have gone other ways, but I think we were too defensive going back a while back, and that went on for about 5 different seasons.
Well, wasn't it like Rafa Benitez and then Roy Hodgson, wasn't it?
That was his way, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To literally defend and counter attack and stuff like that, and that got frustrating.
Yeah.
But you still followed them, and you wanted better from them, but you still enjoy the football.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like me. I'd like to see the football change so that we're getting to get some good out of it as well. You know, where we can enjoy our season and say, well, actually, they played amazing this season.
Yeah, even if they haven't won it or whatever, but they really performed.
Yeah, that you feel no matter what they did, you know, we've had some unlucky times when you look over the years, there's a football that we've watched together.
Yeah.
You know, against people like Man U that can like get 6-7 minutes extra time.
Yeah.
And then score within the last minute to take a game.
Yeah, they're
Things
scum.
like that have been so frustrating over the years when Liverpool played a better better game all the way through the match.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd just like to see it round the other way where we can enjoy it. I don't feel like the games are being stolen by referees, by feeling like the matches were fixed and
Yeah.
you know the refs are biased. I just want to see enjoyable football between two teams. I don't want all this diving, cheating, and all the rest of it, or offside goals being given and silly things.
It's something that I wanted to bring up, like to you and ask you anyway. Is the referees' decisions of recent have been absolutely shocking against Liverpool, and I'm not too aware if it's going on all around the league, but it's something that I feel from a young age watching football with you and stuff that is too many times that Liverpool have dropped points because of referees in the past. Like, what's your views on it?
My views is we should be looking at maybe rolling the camera back to see things and maybe correct refs.
Like American
it takes
football.
a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
That they could do it. It hasn't even got to come up on the screens. Half the times we see it afterwards rolled back pretty quick, and literally refs should be told in their ear. Same as like you do in American football or whatever.
Yeah.
It can be called pretty quick.
Yeah.
It can be checked. I think this is how we need to go in the future to stop all this cheating and to stop losing games because of stupid things that could have been corrected.
Yeah.
You know, you've only got to look at the other day, the way I know that we went through it with the player with the kick in the head and all the rest of it.
Mane, yeah.
You know, I agree that it was dangerous, but I also agree he wasn't looking at that player any time. He was definitely looking up at the ball, so it would have been hard for him to have seen it.
Yeah.
He was jumping for the ball, you know, so in my eyes, stuff like that should be checked, but not just with one.
It should be everything.
Done where if the ref's gonna call and the players are down long enough to make that decision.
Yeah, because in
my eyes, it should be called during the game. If a player's down, they need to relook at it, make the decision, and then it gets called.
Yeah, it's something that I think was brought up a few years back. I was reading an article where it was saying about the American football rules and the cameras, and we spoke about it for ages now. But they were saying that they think it would ruin the game of football as it is because it would slow it right down and break up play too much. But like you said, something that you just said there, like really is true. That if there's a major situation that needs reviewing or whatever, like that Mane incident with the goalkeeper. The players are down long enough to be able. It takes 2 seconds to rewind a bit of footage, talk over a headset to a referee, and say it's definite red. No, it's not a red. It's a yellow. Do you know what I mean? Like something. They've got goal line technology now, so maybe the next step is to rewind and look at footage during the game.
Yeah, especially if the player's down and the decision needs to be made.
Yeah.
That someone's like arguing over, you know. I've seen it so much at like over the years that so many decisions have been wrong, and I just think the amount of time that they've had to make a decision, or that be called, or like it's not been seen by the ref and it's not been seen by the linesman, you know, and things are obvious, but they won't do nothing about it.
No.
I think the way the future's got to be when you have a situation that needs a question answering. For the sake of something that probably takes 10 seconds before we get to see it on telly again, because as we're watching it, we're in 5 to 10 seconds. They're replaying that.
Yeah.
Because all they do is turn a dial, like on the front of a video recorder sort of thing.
Yeah.
They turn a dial, it rolls it back so many seconds, they let it go, they view it. It's that simple to do.
Yeah.
And basically, the people that do all this televising and all the rest of it could do that so quick. That you end up with some of the best refs in the world now. I'm trying to think of the bald-headed one that literally he sits here sometimes and he discusses
Howard Webb.
Halfway through the game. Yeah,
Howard Webb. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, he'll sit there and he will be saying what he thought.
Yeah.
Well, if he can make a decision like that while watching it because it's being shown on telly, and he sees it and a ref ain't seen it because he's been in the wrong place, then the FA could be doing the same.
Yeah, 100%.
There's no reason that they couldn't pick up on it, make the decision for them really quick and just let them know, to at least bring the games so they're a bit fairer.
Yeah. I really agree with your views on it. Obviously, we've spoke about it quite a lot over the last few years, haven't we? And I know it's been a massive thing recently where the lads are saying about the referees and that, and I said what bugs me the most is a consistency thing where, like the Mane incident, that same weekend there was 2 other high foots that weren't given a red card for it, and it's the same incident. So if they're going to I would say give him a red card, because that way it should stop players from lifting their foot so high in the future and endangering them. But on the other hand, make sure you give everyone a red card for the same incident.
You have to tell the same brush with the same brush, don't you?
Yeah. So I've got a question quickly from one of the subscribers, Tony. He says, do you think we should give Moreno more time since he hasn't been too bad past few games, or do you think we should sell him and Lovren? What's your views?
In my eyes, I'd give them the season to see if they're going to pick up and improve.
Right.
If not, I think then it's only fair to move them on, because, with the team that we've got now, you've got high class players in there with still a few weaknesses.
Yeah.
And the weaknesses, like you say, if they don't start to get stronger, be able to play the way that the rest of the team are playing, we've got to change them. It's not a case that we just keep them because they've been good for the team. We've got to look at, it's a business and the fans want better. So basically, we change them.
Yeah.
That's my view. If that's what's needed, we don't keep them, we let them go.
Yeah.
We said it earlier about Coutinho. In my eyes, Coutinho is one of the best players in the world. He's one of the best players Liverpool's got. But when he made that decision that he wanted to go, when that sort of money was being offered, there are other players out there that can fill the same position of that sort of player. That, yes, he is one of the best in the world, but there's a lot that are coming up to that sort of scratch that can still do the same job as these players.
Yeah.
So you take the money, you build the best team you can with the money you got.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, I'd let players go, and I would put the money into the team. That's what we've been missing over the years. The owners investing, because of it being a business, they've took a lot of money over the years, and they haven't put enough back in.
Yeah.
If you want a team that's like the legends at Liverpool are, you put the money in. You buy the best players in the world. We shouldn't be arguing over what to play for a player. If that player is going to be the best that Liverpool can get, pay the money. Because then when we start winning all the trophies, cups, you'll have players buying the shirts, buying this, buying that.
Yeah.
It gets frustrating. You spend your money on your team each year, and then you see them giving nothing back.
Yeah. It's a very valid point. Something that I've said before, is that for me, these players need to learn, and the teams and the owners and that need to learn to respect the fans a little bit more, because if it wasn't for the fans, they wouldn't have any revenue whatsoever, because we buy the kits, we watch them on TV, which gives them TV deals and all that, the sponsorship deals. If it wasn't for the fans, and Liverpool are lucky because, like we said, they've got the best fans around the world, and they are like global, aren't they? They're everywhere, so
Yeah.
they must be bringing in a lot of money around the world, like because of the fans. So if it's a case of, oh, we have to buy it, we're not going to buy this player because it's going to cost us an extra 10 million. That extra 10 million, are you going to qualm that if all your fans are going to go out and buy all of his shirts and make you that back? Do you know what I mean? It's something that we've said before, isn't it? That most of the players, the prices that we pay for them, they make that back in shirt sales alone.
Yeah, and you do. Every new player you buy, if you keep your players each year, then not as many people are going to invest and have that name put on a shirt. People want new names, new players.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy if we've got the best team. Why change what works?
Yeah.
You know, but we haven't got the best team. We're still weak. I've just noticed Tony Kelly put up there about basically, you know, about the defence and all that, and I agree with him on that.
Yeah.
You know, the defence is weak, but when we do change it and we get it right, why change it?
Yeah.
You know, keep with what we got until we need to change it when things start getting bad or players like need to decide to move on or want better things. Then you do change it. But until then, you know, get the team that the fans need. And I agree with you. The fans should matter to the owners.
Yeah.
You know, they should be investing the money to making the best teams. You know, when you look at the sort of money that goes through the Red Sox's American football team,
Oh, the
it's a
baseball team,
stretch
yeah.
of what Liverpool get.
Yeah.
You know, what they pay into their players and all the rest of it, and how many players they buy for their teams, you know, they've invested nothing.
Yeah.
They should be pumping money in to get the best. And then when we got the best, stick with it. The fans will appreciate it. They'll put the money in. We've just extended our stadium. They're making money on that.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a thing because obviously I was going to ask you anyway what your views are on FSG, and a lot of people saying FSG out. Obviously, I'm one of the ones that's like, I look at it that we was in bankruptcy, like we was in Liverpool could have been no longer a football team, which would have been like the end of the world for us Liverpool supporters. But obviously FSG come in and paid off that debt. They have invested in some ways into the club and stuff, but from the beginning, because they're a sports investment group, they said what the target was to get Liverpool to a strength where they fund their sales side in the transfer market now over the years because of the revenue that they're bringing in. So FSG wasn't going to be buying players, and that it's not down to them, it's down to Liverpool Football Club. So do you think that really then that FSG should be paying the money, or do you think then that is a Liverpool Football Club that's making that cock up, if you know what I mean? Like, who do you really think it comes down to?
It's a business. To them, no matter who buys us, they know that Liverpool is a strong business.
Yeah.
You know, because of the fans and that all around the world. Basically, the money they put in, they make that each year. We might have been in debt, but so had all the other football teams in the leagues and all that.
Yeah.
They were all in the same boat. It's just the way English football's gone. But if they weren't so dear on things like how much you have to pay to go and watch teams and all the rest of it, how much a shirt costs these days, they'd probably make more money. But they've gone greedy.
Yeah.
Everything is about money to them. I agree that they should invest money in. Would I be upset if they sold us? Yeah, I think that we've got a good owner. You know, Klopp's allowed to kind of do what he wants. You know, he's been allowed to buy some good players. I think if we keep going the way we are, why change the owners? The owners are doing and starting to put a bit of money in.
Yeah.
Let's hope they continue to do it, you know. But the day that you can say, you know, would we be better off for anyone else? No, because everyone does it as a business. They're not doing it for any other reason.
Yeah.
It's about the money for the owners.
No, I totally agree with you. I read all these comments every day and about FSG as shit, they need to go and all this, and it's like it's a similar thing like what I keep saying to people about Klopp out and stuff. If you look at it, who is going to come in now and do any better for Liverpool without being here for the next few years or whatever, and bedding in and getting used to every, you know what I mean? Like, it's just going to put us back even more. So I'd rather see us go under the manager that I think is a world-class manager and will get success back to Liverpool. And under the owners, they did save us. It depends on, obviously, we don't know fully how it all works at Liverpool and stuff, but FSG, like you say, we could have worse owners. We could still have the ex-owners that were running us into the
Yeah.
ground, you know. Like, so when I look at it that way, I do feel that no, they're not the worst. Are they the best owners? No, they're not. Like, I think what it is teams like City and Chelsea, their owners have ruined the sport, if you know what I mean, in the sense that too many fans, because of how they pump money into it. Other teams are like, well, look at them. That's why they win trophies and that. And it's kind of took away the way to win trophies is the right way by getting a team, coaching them right, getting a manager to play right tactics, getting players to progress. But now it's too much like you look at Crystal Palace sacking their manager after four matches or whatever recently. Like, it's an absolute joke the way football is going with money and how fans are expecting teams and that to be, you know, like you look at Man City and Chelsea. If a player's not playing well, do they try and coach him? No, they just buy the next best thing. You know what I mean? Like, but Liverpool have always tried to do it the right way, and under Jurgen Klopp, I think they've got a manager that he wants to coach players. He wants to make the next best player. He doesn't want to go out and buy the best in that position because they might not give it their all because they feel like they're already the dog's bollocks. So why should they work hard? He wants players that are greedy, that want to come in and they want to build for success. They want to take Liverpool to win titles. That's what Klopp wants. And for anyone to say Klopp's shit and FSG should go and out, I think they're being a little bit. They're naive, isn't it? Really, they're not looking at it.
You've only got to look at it this way: players are coming to Liverpool because of Klopp.
Yeah.
Right. That's why we're getting the quality of players that are coming.
100%.
You know, players would not have wanted to come the other season. You know,
under Rodgers, yeah.
Yeah, you know, we need Champions League football, but players are coming because of the manager that Klopp is.
Yeah.
You know, I know it from even doing the young lads football teams over the years. Players come because of a manager and who that manager's got in his team.
Yeah.
You know, but we started out years ago with our lads and that, literally with one of the worst teams. But we gradually brought in better and better players because of how we worked with the team, how our training was, and things like that. They come, and not because the team wasn't winning everything. They came because of the training they were given. You know, it was enjoyable, what they needed, and it brought out the better in the boys. And in the end, we ended up there, you know, second in the league and things like that. We never took the top of the league, but, you know, we did end up second. We did end up moving up in seasons and being up the top, you know. So I know how hard it is, and I know why people come. You know, without Klopp, we would not have the team we've got today.
No, I agree.
They wouldn't have invested the money. It's because of his knowledge and what he is saying he can do for the team, which he will do.
Yeah.
I just think he needs maybe another season. This season, let's hope we get up in the top 2 or 3. Next season, I'd expect, if we hadn't had it this year, I'd expect to take the league by next season.
Yeah. No, it's like, obviously, like, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on and that, because it is like one of the things that I look at and stuff. And I said this year I think we'd be at a stretch to try and win the league because of the defensive and the weaknesses that we've got. But then next season I think we should push on that, and getting your views on it, because you've been the manager and everything. Like, you obviously, someone's saying about turning you up, they can't hear shit. Obviously you've been there, you know what it takes and the training and stuff. And a lot of people, none of us know what's going on the training ground. Like with Liverpool, we don't know what they're working on, and a lot of people are saying he's not working on the defensive side of it. He's only working on the attack. But he's not stupid. He probably is working on the defensive side of that, because he wouldn't be in his position if he didn't know what he was doing, would he? Let's face it.
They could be trying new stuff out at the moment, Daz. They could be trying stuff, putting it into games, and it's not working at the moment. But you know, the thing is perseverance, and the more they persevere at it, that's when the strengths start to come out, when they get better at what they're doing, what they're training for, you know. So yes, we've had a few bad games, I'd say, but let's hope without changing. I still think we're weak in defence, but I don't think that's a problem. You could still change that by switching maybe back to 4-4-2, you know, or 3-5 in the middle, so that you got one or two dropping back to make up 5 or 4 at the back.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you different strengths. The players are strong enough to get up the pitch and back down, but I think that we should be leaving a good 2 or 3 back, not all pushing up as heavy as we are at the moment. I think because the defence is weaker, unless he has got other things going on in the back that we don't know about, that they could be dealing with stuff, training different stuff, you know, that they're just trialing, that ain't working right yet.
Yeah.
You know, I just think we need to give them a few more games, see what happens. We can score the goals, so we can win the games. We just need to stop letting so much through at the back at the moment and letting so much in. We've got a world-class goalie, you know. I still don't think there's many better goalies out there. I just think we've made a few stupid mistakes that can be put right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think something that, like we said earlier on, obviously in the podcast, is that if you've got a weakness, then you need to find how to make it so that it's not a massive weakness and try and protect them. And if the centre back situation is the weakness, like you say, make sure there's cover around them so that they can't cost you in big games, isn't it? Basically, like is what we said earlier. But something Tony Kelly's just said here related to the owners is he says, "What do you both think of getting new Arab owners? I think it would be a bad idea. It could lead
So
us
do
to
I.
bad problems, and we think we have bad problems in defence. We could even lose our best players." Yeah, I totally agree with that, Tony. I think, to be honest with you, too many people these days want their teams to be took over by Arabs or people that are really rich and stuff and pump the money in. But that can go completely the other way. They could get us a transfer ban. You look what's just gone on with Liverpool recently. If we would have got a transfer ban, we wouldn't have got in Mohamed Salah. And look how good he's been. Chamberlain, I
Yeah,
think he come good. Like, what's your views, Dad? Would you stick with FSG like you said, or
of course I would.
yeah,
I think we bought some top quality players. You know, we've not changed 2/3 of the team.
yeah,
You know, over the last couple of years. So in my eyes, the money is going in. We've just got a slight issue that needs adjusting, but obviously you can't just change the whole team. So they've done it. If it takes another half a season to a season to finish it off, you know, if the fans stick in there and we keep with what we've got, I think we will end up still with one of the best football teams in the world.
yeah,
You know, I think we're getting there. You've only got to look at the strengths that we got, the players that we got in. You know, who wouldn't want to support Liverpool? There's a few that people are frustrated with, but we've spent money and we've bought a lot of players in. We can't change them all in one go. It wouldn't have worked if he had.
yeah.
You know, you need some players in there for the fans to like remember that it is Liverpool and not just a whole new foreign team or whatever. You know, it's
Yeah,
another season. I think we got another season to get it right.
yeah, I totally agree. I think it's a lot of us have been saying, come January, obviously, I think we should see that we sort out the centre back situation, whether it's one centre back that comes in or two in January. But then next summer, obviously, we got Naby Keita coming in from the Bundesliga. He's a quality midfielder. So next year we will look even stronger than what we do this year. But it is just about waiting. And I think something that you said just then, which is a really good point, is that you can't bring in a whole team straight away. So Klopp's been bringing in parts of the puzzle, hasn't he? Pieces of the puzzle every
Yeah,
transfer window or whatever. And it's about building the squad, not just a team, but the squad without losing that Liverpool feel and losing the players that already know how he plays. Yeah, they might not be the best in the tactics, but at least they know how he plays, considering it takes time for a new player to come in and learn tactics that Klopp wants them to play, isn't it? So yeah, I really, really do
yeah,
agree with that. But
that's right.
what was I going to say as well? Obviously Emre Can, his contract is running down. Is it come January he can speak to other teams about moving next summer on a free? Would you like to
Yeah.
see him sign up again, or do you think let him go now because he's letting it run down?
Chan's an amazing player. He's another one that's a strong player.
Yeah,
I think he's strong on the ball. Yes, he's had a rough bit of a season, but who doesn't? And when you got players like that, some players make you look, or some teams make a player look bad because of the way they know his strengths, so they counteract his strengths.
yeah,
They could put two players pushing up against a player like him to make it harder for him to do his job properly.
yeah,
So again, I think I would give him the season, see how he goes, see if he comes back to what we see as his true form. I don't think he's lost his true form. I think he's made a few mistakes, but we've all played football and we all know you could kick a ball wrong. You can make silly mistakes, but the player puts the effort in, he works hard, he's a strong defender, fast on the wings. He can get up, get back, and do the job that you need.
yeah,
I wouldn't say let him go yet. I think we need to look at him, look at what he wants, see if he's willing to still commit to Liverpool,
yeah.
see if his effort's in there. If it is, and his heart's in the game, I think he's a strong player. I don't think he is one of the weaknesses. He's just made a few errors, and I think teams know how he plays, so they counteract his style of football.
Yeah, it's I agree. I would really hate to see Emre Can go somewhere, and the fact that he could go to another Premier League rival, like because there's nothing Liverpool can do about that if he's going on a free. So I'd hate to see that happen. I think Chan is the only midfielder that Liverpool have got that is like a powerhouse midfielder, which Liverpool lack. We haven't got a lot of really strong players, have we? So Chan
No,
is like our only midfielder that when he's on the pitch, I trust that if he's up against the big lads, like on the smaller, like the lower league teams or whatever, Chan's capable strength wise of dealing with that. But if we lose him, then I can't see us bringing in another player similar to that. So I really don't want to
no,
see him go, but it's just,
he's the sort of player that would have made a good captain because basically he's the push in the team.
yeah,
He's the strength that push and put on players what we should be doing,
yeah,
and this is what I don't see with our captain at the moment. It's basically I'd like to see him with Chan's sort of enthusiasm, if you know what I mean, and the way he comes over.
yeah. I think, yeah, like Henderson is like, what's the word? Like he's like a Duracell bunny, and he runs a lot. And I
Yeah,
think,
he works hard,
yeah, we
but
are seeing more from Henderson in that sense. But I think, like you say, Chan is one of them that he'd go in hard, wouldn't he? Like if he has to, do you know what I mean? And like sometimes I feel like Hendo kind of ducks out of some challenges, like when I don't know whether that's because of an injury thing or what, and he doesn't want to get his foot aggravated, like the injury or whatever. But I feel like too many of our midfielders, like if you look at it at the moment, because of our pressing game, if teams beat the first press, then we're very exposed and it's too easy for one player to escape three of our players because we ain't got too many players that will just run in and clatter the player. Like we don't want red cards, but you look at Gerrards
no,
and Carragher's and that, if they couldn't win the ball, instead of letting the team go on and score against us, they would have just took him out. Like, and I
yeah,
don't feel we got many
because
people like that.
even with the coaching that I had years ago to be a coach, basically we was taught, you know, if if you teach your boys to go in harder, so basically attack the ball first,
Yeah,
you won't be the one that's injured because the one that gets injured is the one that has that fear factor of going in heavy. And this is why certain midfielders that you could have today, that are stronger than people like Henderson, wouldn't get injured as much. It's that it's like you say, they run around, they do so much running and work ethic, but their strength against other players ain't always on it.
Yeah.
You know, whereas when you look at Emre Can, a bloke that takes on players heavily, I don't think you'd really see Can hurt very often.
No. Well, the truth is, Emre Can doesn't ever really go out of injuries, does he? Whereas Henderson,
No.
I think over the last couple of seasons, I think I read a stat, and I didn't know whether it was true or not, but had featured less than what Daniel Sturridge has. And people moan about Daniel Sturridge's injuries and how much he's been out injured. That just goes to show that maybe you're onto something with, maybe it's because he half-heartedly goes into some of the challenges. And I don't know, because obviously we don't know what his injuries fully are. I mean, he's got the foot that gets aggravated and that. But
yeah, and if it is injured, it's a weakness now.
Yeah.
So he knows the next hit could be him.
Yeah.
You know, and basically when you're at that level of football, you want to see that you get as many years out of football as you can, because that's your paycheck to retirement.
Yeah.
So I think that was the problem with Liverpool going back about 5 years ago. All the players we had, I was starting to think to myself, what are they just sitting back now to make sure that they get the next 5-7 years football?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas we want players that will fully commit to Liverpool and want to win.
Yeah.
You know, so they put everything in, and that's what you get out of you, Chans and people like that. But like you say with Henderson, because of his injuries, I think for one, he has got it is a weakness now within his body, because the next injury could be the final one. Secondly, the fear factor of being put out of football forever.
Yeah.
You know, like you say, they do everything to run and take the ball and pull the ball, get away from a player. But when it's that all-out attack for a ball, I don't think they go in all heart, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas I'd want better out of my players if I was a manager. I'd be looking at, you know, if he is weak in that way, then maybe these are the players that shouldn't be for Liverpool at the moment, or should be more to do with on the bench and coming on after injuries and things like that. I think, you know, we need players that literally want to be out there for 90 minutes, not worried about an injury.
Yeah.
And they'll be the ones that are less likely to have injuries.
Yeah. No, I fully agree that I think I think you said, didn't you, about 5 years ago or whatever, I think for the last 5 years, if you say that time frame, too many times have I seen players at Liverpool that I feel that they are too worried about getting injuries, and I think that maybe it's the way football's going these days. They're all a little bit amby-pamby, aren't they? Like, we spoke quite a bit on a channel recently about whereas they don't make players like they used to. They, like your Jamie Carragher's, that, you know, he'd throw himself completely in front of a bus to stop a ball from getting in on goal or something. You know, like it's not. I don't think it's just Liverpool, and I think that's what's hard, because we support Liverpool. We want to see players fully giving it all, but I think it's actually generally a football thing these days, and how they are, and obviously because of the money that's included in it. If they're out of football, if they get put out, they're not going to be earning the money, are they? Like other footballers are earning that. Whereas back in the day, people played football not just for the money, because there wasn't a lot in it. It was because of the sheer love of football, you know, like, and to play for that football club, like for Liverpool Football Club. Was now it's like, oh yeah, well, I'll come to Liverpool, but only if you pay me £160,000 a week. Do you really want a player
but then they're
that
not
is
really
like that?
worth that if they're not giving 100%. So
Yeah.
in my eyes, you either want to play football. It's not about how long, in my eyes, that they should literally be allowed to play. They're on high money, so if they are injured, they should be insured.
Yeah.
And, you know it's an enjoyable thing. You don't want that injury. But if this was American football, the amount of accidents them guys have, concussions, injuries, they have every part of their body dislocated over and over. But to be in the big money, no matter how many injuries, they have to prove themselves year after year.
Yeah.
But these players, they don't prove themselves, and then they expect to get sold the next season and go for big money. No, I don't think they should.
Yeah.
I think a player should show full commitment to the team they're with.
Yeah.
Give 100% in everything they do. If they're injured, you look after them and you make sure they get all the help they need.
Yeah.
Right? They should be insured and looked after if they've given 100%. But players that literally let down teams because they haven't fully committed shouldn't be in the big games. They should be like in the lower leagues and things like that.
Yeah.
And this is what we get to see these days. I think they're on so much money, they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and this is where the fans are paying money to see them go out and perform.
Yeah.
Not go out and because they're on a good wage, let's see and take it easy for the next 5 years because I've got a 5-year contract or whatever. I expect to see them out there every year proving that money and then get a pay increase each year if they work hard and get the monies for the games and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, it's like if one of us was in a job and it's like, oh, like I got a bad back or whatever, so I'm not going to do that part of my job today because that would just fuck my back up or whatever. But then expecting your company to fully pay you your full wage and for the people around you to just be like, oh, that's fine, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, we just carry on doing the job, but you just sit on your ass having a cup of tea or whatever, let us doing all the hard work, but you might be earning more money than me. Like, it just wouldn't happen in any other kind of job, would it? So it is.
No.
It is one of
And
the
there
things.
never used to be money in football.
No.
People had normal jobs. They worked and played football with hardly anything. And
Yeah.
now look at it. Look at the money. It's gone ridiculous what they get paid.
Yeah.
You know, and they get to sulk and decide that they don't want to be with you, you know, and moan that they want to go there because they're offering better money or whatever. It should be you sign a contract, you fulfill that contract, unless it's like something where you both decide it would be better for the team, or you know,
Yeah. Yeah. No.
the price is right, but it's what would be best.
Yeah.
You
No.
know,
I fully agree on that. Like. But anyway, we've hit about the hour mark, so we'll leave it there. Obviously, we did answer a couple of questions, and yeah, hopefully you guys that have been listening to this podcast today has enjoyed my dad's views as well. My dad's name's Mickey or Michael or whatever. I think you prefer Mickey, didn't you, Dad? You don't like Michael really, but yeah. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. He does join in on some of the streams, but he doesn't comment and stuff. So, but I'm sure I'll get him back on the channel one day and that and. Yeah, it's just good to get your views, Dad, because you don't read into everything like what someone like me does or some of the other lads, but you're just a true Liverpool supporter and have been all your life. So it's good to get your views on it all and that. And yeah, it's just a raw view, which is what I wanted basically. But
well,
yeah.
thanks for having me.
No, that's all right, man. Like absolutely, it's been a pleasure having you on the channel and that. It's like I said to you before, wasn't it? Like that, I wanted to get your views and that, and yeah, hopefully we'll be doing more podcasts and that in the future, and I'll get you on. Also, I want to get you on one of the live streams. I said to you, didn't I? You come over or whatever, and we do a live stream where the boys can see on webcam as well and that. But yeah, don't want to scare them too much. Hey.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah, we will do it. We will do it. But yeah, as always, guys, I won't be doing a live stream tonight, lads, because obviously the baby's been ill and that. I'm going to spend some time with the family tonight, but I'll be doing a video tomorrow and that. And thank you everyone that's joined in and for all your comments and that. It's been absolutely brilliant as always, guys. But yeah, take care, you lot, and I'll speak.